Hello. I am actually feeling really thoughtful today about something. And it's funny, whenever I start these vlogs and press record, I'm not quite sure how I'm going to start it out. It's definitely never rehearsed. um, but there's just some, I told you that I've been reading the book, The Dance of the Dissident Daughter, by Sue Monk-Kidd. And so many parts of this book have really resonated with me. But there was one part in particular that it was in the very beginning. I'm almost sure it's in the introduction. Let me look real quick. Yes, it's in the introduction. That just was like, just hit me straight to the heart. You can probably hear my neighbor's dog outside. A lot of people have asked me about how it is I feel so comfortable sharing on my blog such deep and intense emotions. And you're typically referring to my fertility journey that I wrote about for a few years, and then my emotions surrounding adoption. And I could never really say, I could never really put into words how it is I felt so comfortable sharing. I tried, and sometimes I fumbled, and I never felt quite appropriate to say I'm just brave with my emotions, and because sometimes I'd write about it and I was not at all in a brave space, feeling really vulnerable and scared, and it was just really hard. But there was just something deep inside me that felt like I needed to share my story. And when I read this quote in this book, it was like, that's it. That is it. And I'd someday like to express it in my own words, but hold on a second. Somebody's at my door. Okay, sorry about that. That was actually really cool. It was a book that was delivered to my house, written by Kate Inglis, and I'm going to put a little link to it at the bottom of this post because I'm really, really excited to take a look at it and read it to Cedar. Boho Boy's totally stoked about it. So, anyways, this quote was, it's in the book by Sue Monk-Kidd, but the quote was actually by a woman by the name of Etty Hillesum. I might be butchering her last name. It's Hillesum. And it says, in Etty Hillesum's journal, which chronicled her life before and during her imprisonment in a Nazi concentration camp, I came upon a few sentences that touched me very much. Hillesum wrote, There is nothing else for it. I shall have to solve my own problems. I always get the feeling that when I solve them for myself, I shall have solved them for 1,000 other women. For that very reason, I must come to grips with myself. Oh, yes. So, I think that is at the root of why I shared my fertility story very openly in this space of Blogland, because I felt so deeply about wanting other women, I'm gonna cry, to be heard, or to be like, to feel they're not alone. And you never expect this to happen, right? Yeah, this is me. I cry all the time, almost every day. But this is big stuff. Yeah, that is why I share my story. And it's really cool because a lot of people say blogs are really self-centered, which, they can be, which is okay, because when you're writing your journal, writing like a real journal, in your hands. You're not writing it for anyone else but yourself. It's mainly for you to get through the crap and the muck, and to work through really hard things, or to celebrate really exciting things, and so that one day you can go back and look at it and see the growth and the evolvement, um, and so in a sense it can be self-centered in that way, and also presumptuous that people really out there want to hear about my life, and is it really that exciting? No. I'm very human, just like everybody else, and there's those emotions that I think stop people in their tracks, and they're afraid to share. But there's so many elements of a blog that are not self-centered, that they're extremely giving and selfless. And when you're sharing emotions that are embarrassing or hard, or parts of yourself that are extremely vulnerable, raw, peeling open, I think it's a really beautiful thing, because people need to hear your story so that they can feel not only that they're not alone, but that they can gather up their strength to acknowledge what's going on in their heart, to be aware of it, to be conscious of it, to work through it, to be inspired, to be more brave, to be inspired to accept themselves for what and who they are and what they're going through. I mean, there's just so many elements that keep me writing here, or keep me vlogging here, that have nothing to do with me. So yeah, it's that quote that also is really inspiring me to write my book, write my story in a book. And it's that quote that's inspiring me to get on with writing my e-course. It's like, oh man, it's so cool. I mean, we are coming to grips with ourselves so that other women can tell their stories too, yeah, it's that line that's like, I solved them for myself, I shall solve them for 1,000 other women. Oh, and I'm not being presumptuous in that I am going to solve other women's problems, but I just think we help one another that way, we contribute to growth and stretching and being honest with ourselves, and being true to who we are, and giving others strength to speak their truth. So, yeah, didn't expect to get that emotional, but it's very emotional for me and others out there. So, I just wanted to share that little bit. There's a lot more about this book that speaks to me that I want to share, but that in particular really moved me. And so, that's it. I hope you guys have a wonderful, magical day, and I'll be back.